Hey guys, it's Kimberlee and welcome back to my channel. I make videos on all things lifestyle on a budget, and today I'm bringing you my experience using the Always pan and just kind of giving you the real deal if it's worth having or not, and like, do you really need it? I've seen the Always pan on social media for years now, but I had never had an opportunity to try it. Lo and behold, my sister and her family gifted it to me over the holidays, which thank you guys so much. If you guys have been on my channel for a while, you know I like to give you the full scoop. I put this pan through it. I tried some intense sauces to see if it would stain. I did some tomato sauces. I did some curry sauces. I wanted to know what are the strengths and weaknesses of this pan, if any, because you know, it is a little bit more expensive. Now, everyone's gonna have different budget links and all that. I think the price of the Always pan can definitely push some budgets, so it's worth watching a review on it first. Selena Gomez apparently came out with a special line with the Always pan that I feel like there was a sudden resurgence in it. I'm not gonna lie, I waited a couple months to try it because I was intimidated by it. Does this happen to anyone? I was like, whoa, this pan, like there's so many millions of things to do with it. I am not a intuitive cooker. Like, what if I mess it up? What if I break it? What if I don't use it right? Like, I gotta sit down and like read this thing thoroughly. Is anyone else like that? Is anyone else intimidated by inanimate objects because you just think like, I'm gonna mess it up somehow? Just me? Okay, just wanted to figure that out. When I finally opened up and set out all the items, there really weren't that many. It was actually very straightforward. So don't be intimidated. I got this little thing right here that is pretty much like a cheat sheet for all the things that you can do. It looks like a bookmark and it gives you like the fast facts of all the things that it can do. It comes with a steamer, which is awesome. Like, it's supposed to be something that can replace like 8 of your pots and pans that you have normally. So it's supposed to be that like one-stop shop. It comes with a wooden spoon, which I think is so convenient. And you can already start cooking right away. You don't have to worry about using a fork or a spoon to try to like mix up. You get the wooden spoon with it already. There's also a little spot on the handle where you can rest the spoon. Like, talk about innovation right there. There's little openings on the side of the pan so that you're supposed to be able to pour easily, get rid of the water as you're cooking or after you're cooking. Another thing that they advertise is that you can twist the lid so that you can let steam out. And if you're doing too much and you want to let it breathe a little bit, you can unscrew the lid and that'll help diffuse some of that air or whatever the terms are. It's non-stick, which is the main kicker of it all. I feel like we're all in a non-stick world these days anyway. And then also more importantly is that it's not with the toxic chemicals that usually are associated with non-stick pans. It's saying don't use any metal utensils in it, but you can use silicone. And then for cleaning, it just gives you the whole spiel of like waiting till everything's cooled down, and then you can go ahead with your soap and water, etc. But once I opened up the box and read this, I was like, oh, I can do this. This is not a big, scary, fancy pot for fierce cookers. This is something I can handle. I love how quick and straightforward it is. Do not give me a bunch of instructions. And if anyone's curious about the sizing on it, because I think that that makes a difference, is that it's 10 inches in diameter and it's 2.7 in depth. That is a game changer, I will say, with the depth, because a lot of the pans that I do have are not that deep. Other pans are kind of usually around here. I did not use the steamer yet, so I can't comment on that. Caught me at a moment where I haven't gotten groceries yet. It's the end of the month. I'll be probably buying that like next week. So I will not be able to comment on the steamer, but if you really want to see some steaming in action, something that I'm actually really excited about because I always wanted a steamer and I just never got one. So now I have one and I definitely want to test it out to have some more healthy vegetables. Things I wanted to test out: how easy it was to clean, how heavy or light it really was, what's the function of it, do things burn easily, do they not, how big is it compared to my tiny kitchen. Staining, if I use like tomato sauces and curry sauces, like, is this thing gonna get all stained and then start looking gross? I don't know, so let's find out. Okay, so right off the bat, I wanted to show you where the oil kind of pools to one side. Could be my stove, could be the pan, but I just wanted to show that. And then I started to get into some cooking. I was making a pasta, so I started with some vegan sausage. The sausage cooked really easy, and then I went in with my favorite pasta from Trader Joe's. This one was really easy too. I wanted to test out how that sauce was gonna handle in the pan. Everything was really easy, nothing got stuck, which I was pretty happy about. I was able to close the lid even with the wooden spoon resting, but then it seemed weird to just have like a wooden spoon kind of cooking in there, so I stopped doing that. But yeah, I just added my vegan cheese and that was good to go. This time around, I changed the way the pan was facing to see if that also changed where the oil pooled to, and it did. This time it went more towards the front. So I'm thinking that maybe it has to do something with my stove itself. The pan was actually super easy to wash, and the next time I went to cook was when I was frying this tofu, and as you can see, there's no red pasta sauce or any sort of residue there. And now I wanted to see how it dealt with frying tofu. I haven't mentioned it yet in the video, but the long handle you can use without an oven mitt, but the other handle you definitely need an oven mitt, and there is a caution sign, so don't even try to hold that because it'll be super hot. I like my tofu super crispy, so I try to hold out before flipping them, and I think it actually did pretty well. Of course, I didn't add any cornstarch or any sort of flour and things, so it's not gonna be crispy, but it was good enough. And then I went right in to cook some shaved Brussels sprouts, and I just used whatever oil was left over, so I didn't have to add any new oil. So obviously with my small stove, you can see how much this pan is kind of taking over all of the stove. But anyway, on to my last meal. I was doing a chickpea curry, and I started out with these potatoes that come already seasoned from Trader Joe's. Oh, best invention ever. I let this simmer with the chickpeas for 20 minutes, and seriously, best meal ever. Had it all week, and I actually kept it in the pan, and this is what it ended up looking like before I washed it. I was so curious if it would stain, and as you can see, this pan is even bigger than my sink, which did make it a little bit tricky to wash, but I'm completely used to that. I've been in this place for over a year, but really it just takes some creative angles to make sure that everything gets washed and clean. And I was really happy to see that even after a week of sitting in that curry sauce, there was no staining so far, so bravo to them. I was really happy about that, and the convenience of knowing that I can use this pot and not have to worry about any yellowing. The spoon, on the other hand, not so much, but I think I can soak it. Okay, so with most of the stuff, we ended up loving it. Everything's great. We're so happy. This can replace a bunch of pans. But here are some things that I think you want to look out for and to keep in mind when you're cooking with this. Number one, this pan is heavy. Now, listen, it says that it's lightweight and it's like 3 pounds, you're good. I work out, I've been working out consistently. You guys have been seeing on this channel, especially with one hand. Tried it with my left hand, tried it with my right. It's heavy to lift. I was like, whoa, this is a pan where I feel that money. Like, this is good quality. It is sturdy, it's strong, but it is heavy. So that is something to take in mind. Naturally for me, it's just to pick it up and go like this, and I was getting a workout. I will not ever say that this pan is light. Can't say it, can't agree with that at all. It's heavy, but I don't think that that's necessarily something to prevent me from buying it. But if by chance you have mobility issues or something like that, it might not be worth it if it's something that you can't handle on your own. But you can also, like I said, put the pan and scoop individually. You can use the other handle if you have an oven mitt on, whatever. It just takes like, 1 extra second of thought. But you know me, I'm in a New York minute. I was like, like this is heavy. But anyway, I just want to point that out. That's a major thing that I didn't realize with this pan, is that it is heavy, period. Another thing I want to say is that steamer thing that they're talking about, where like you can unscrew the lid, sure, cool, that's great. Just remember that when you want to take the lid off, you gotta tighten it and then pull it off. When I had it unscrewed and I tried to lift it, I was like, is this gonna fall? Like, is this top gonna come off? Basic common sense stuff, but I just feel like it's worth mentioning because it's just like something that you find out in the moment and you're like, oh shoot, like I didn't realize that. And the other thing, like I mentioned with it being heavy, is that other handle that's there is not cool. I'm curious what the thought process was in the design to having one hand grip be cool but the other one not. I'm just assuming that the other handle is just a bonus and they're like, we can't give you everything, so just wear an oven mitt. But it is something that's kind of like, it would be cool if both of those were cool so that I could easily handle without having to burn my hand. So the other two things are not that major, but I would say the major difference is, yes, the weight of the pan. I feel like all I'm seeing everywhere is that it's so light. Oh my gosh, it's so wow, I can just do so much. It's heavy and I struggled. So I want you guys to know about that. I still really do love the pan. So overall, aside from the few little things that I mentioned, I would highly recommend the Always pan if you have an option to get it. It is extremely convenient. I do believe that it takes the place of a lot of pans. With my pots and pans that I have, this definitely can take the place of at least 2 pans that I have, because one of them I don't even use. One of them is a really big pot that came in that set that I got from my mom, and it's like a paella size, so really big. I'm never using that. It takes up so much space for my small kitchen that I've never actually used it. I also think it's a great gift for someone else, where again, that would just be the one thing that you get them. Be a great wedding gift as well. I'll have the links and everything down below if you're interested in checking it out. Check out those Selena Gomez colors. Those are awesome. Let me know down below if you've tried the Always pan, what your thoughts are. Did you have any of the same issues that I did? Let's have a discussion. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.